No.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
Welcome back. You found us. We're here again.
Hey.
It's us.
It's
Your
me.
old friends. Me, Aaron
Comic
C.
shop.
Lee. At
Lost
the
in-
comic, Lost in Space and
time
Time.
for over 10,000 years.
From a mission they were never
Never
meant to return from. They
We have returned.
The comic shop.
Hey.
112 East Bridge Street.
The comic shop.
Yeah, we're here. I can't even believe it.
I get
Evan, you're
uglier.
here.
I get uglier every week. I shaved my mustache this week, and you can see even more zits now. This is amazing. My head's getting rounder too.
This has been Evan's Zit Watch.
Really, I should do zit watch at the beginning of every podcast. But
Sponsored by Stridex.
yes, remember the old Stridex ads on the back of comics? Oh, we're
Yep.
here with very special guest star
Martin.
Martin Kinney.
There he is.
We're here with regular guest star.
Jonathan Ashline.
Hey, Jonathan.
Hey.
One of our two believers.
Yeah.
It's good
Two
to have
believers, baby.
good to have you here. We
The
always
good one.
The good. Well, they're both
Hey,
good.
what do you mean?
He's only sabotaged one of these. Your wife's a
Oh,
saboteur.
no.
What?
She has
She's
responsibilities.
coming at it.
Responsibilities.
I have a child, Martin. How dare you?
I don't know. She just goes out dancing with minors, is what I get.
Slanderous. Spicy.
She's chaperoned to
No,
dance.
well, she has. She actually is selling carnations, Martin.
Personal incarnations.
I
Oh.
guess. I guess.
Reincarnation.
If you
Someone
buy
in
it
the-
again, is it a reincarnation?
There's somebody in the chat that says, "Hey!" Exclamation point. I'm not sure who they're upset with. I'm gonna guess it's not Aaron Z. Lee.
Yeah. Well.
They're always upset with Aaron Z. Lee.
Yeah. It's just.
You try living with him.
Yeah, I'm pretty great. My the snoring has reached a new decibel level because I was sick for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the old sinus infection. Thought I was a superhero.
Oh, I thought that
Power
was
through the clay
gonorrhea.
unit.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was just a sinus infection.
No. It's
You got
been
some Valentine's Day gonorrhea.
no. Doing the clay unit,
We'll
trying to
just
power
discharge
through.
that complete thought.
Yep, trying to power through the clay unit. Everything's dried out. It's cold out. You know. trying to do the thing. And Lucy was sick too, so had to take not
Aw.
one day but 2
That
days.
we care about. You
Yeah.
being sick, who cares? But Lucy,
Well, right.
actually.
How's the goose? The goose is good.
She's good. Her voice is still a little
Yeah.
hoarse, so she's got that little 2-year-old raspy
She's
voice.
a goose.
It's very
who's
cute.
hoarse.
Voice.
What's that?
She's a goose with a horse voice.
Yeah, it's a real wild goose chase. at
She's
that
like
house.
Old McDonald's farm all rolled into one.
Yeah.
That's right. She didn't nap at all today at the sitters, so she came home. I set her in the crib to like sleep, and then like 15 minutes later, she was awake and crying. So I picked her up, and just like held her on the couch, and then eventually she was zonked. Took a little hour-long snooze on my chest. So
Good.
she got a snooze in.
You mentioned Old MacDonald. She does do a 20-minute version of Old MacDonald, I believe, where she just goes through every animal that she knows, and maybe possibly cycles back to the beginning.
That's right.
Is her grand finale showstopper number. You have to have it big.
Yeah, she was inspired by the story we told her about the one time we saw B.B. King, and he couldn't play the guitar anymore, and his band
Jazz
sang
Fest?
"You Are My Sunshine" for 20 minutes, and then it was over.
Jazz Fest?
It was really sad.
That's a true story.
Yeah.
It was a Jazz Fest, right? Yes?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
My aunt was at that show, yes. She was.
So B.B. King was there, but he couldn't play guitar.
Right.
Could he do anything?
He could sing.
Yeah.
He introduced the whole band.
Mhm.
He was very excited to do that. He's such a good musician. I don't know. It was very sad to see.
Lucy says eating more ranch.
Ooh.
Thanks, Lucy.
Yeah, Lucy and her friends at daycare, they all love ranch. They don't like the thing. They like chips and other things as a delivery system to eat more ranch. So my wife came up with a name for these girls, the Ranch Rascals,
Uh-huh.
and that maybe should be my comic strip, the Ranch.
So you got a
Rascals.
book, Jonathan? You got a book?
Oh, yeah, we are here.
Sorry, Kathy
We're here.
Lee didn't mean it.
We're here to celebrate
What?
Sorry, Kathy Lee didn't mean it.
Kathy Lee.
Kathy Lee.
The Kathy, another comic strip. You're
Yes,
on,
there we
Martin.
go.
Oh, everybody stop talking. We're here with Jonathan Ashline, who has just done his 4th successful Kickstarter in the past 2.5 years or 3 years.
I think since 2022.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, 2 years.
I feel like every time we turn around, you're doing another one.
Yeah, you're very prolific. This one a little bit different,
Yeah.
or a lot a bit different, I
Yeah.
guess. I tried to. So we're poorly prepared. I tried to put
It's
up
a
an.
hallmark of her.
I tried.
Well, can we back up and say that it's been a very traumatic week here at the comic shop as we're busily trying to convert to a new point of sale system.
Do you want to
and
comment on
inventory
that
and
real
stuff.
quick?
Not really, but I just
Okay.
want to know that two of us are very worn out here.
Martin, tell us more about the POS.
Which
I
one?
think POS sums it up.
So yeah, we switched everything over to a new system this
But
week.
very
so
low rand.
go to thecomic.shop, not thecomic.shop.com. Go to thecomic.shop. And you can set up your subscriptions. You can see all the previews catalogs. You can see all the crap we've been trying to do for the past couple weeks, months, whatever. But it's all there.
Go to the comic shop. Go to comic.shop. Comic.shop.
Flows right off the tongue.
Yep.
Comic.shop.
Yeah, Jonathan Ashline. So your Kickstarter, your previous Kickstarter. Actually, we've got a little document cam here. We've got your previous books here.
Cool.
Pocket of Fears, My Silent Cacophony, My Fight for Balance.
All available at the comic shop.
Yes.
We don't have any copies of this stuff though. Did you bring in a couple books?
No.
No. Okay.
Of what?
I meant to ask
I
that.
thought you had some.
It all
We do.
used-
We've
it
got-
all used to be
we have-
available.
Didn't
Oh,
you
do?
just put
It
some
does?
in the other day?
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought we
Oh,
only
it's
had a couple
available.
books the other day, and then I
Okay.
looked today and go, "Oh, we've got everything."
It
so
is
that's good.
available here.
It is available
here.
Oh, yes.
Listen to
So
me.
That, yes, retroactively, I brought
Yes.
it in
Yeah.
a week ago or so.
Yeah.
This is a new book, though.
Yes.
It's Of Magic and Fangs. Now, tell me about Of Magic and Fangs.
This is you on the cover.
Aaron,
right?
cover your ears.
Yes. No, this is complete fiction instead of the poetry and memoirs that I've been doing up till this point. I wanted to do something drastically different.
Draculaously different.
Draculaously different. So I went.
Is that on purpose?
No.
It's a good gimmick.
What?
Dracula.
Draculaously different. Because there's the vampires.
One's a vampire, the other's a witch, immortal witch. And it's a love story between the two of them throughout the ages.
A love story or a lust story?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
There's a lot of lust in there.
So where'd this idea come from?
It's been kicking around for a while. Just because I honestly looked at stuff like Twilight and and I was like, well, come on, I can do that.
You set the bar so high for yourself literarily.
I like to strive for greatness.
I could write trash, or I could go to trash can. That's what you were saying to me. Not that I've read the book and can't judge it on it. That was just the joke with Twilight.
So has this idea been kicking around for a while then? Like, has this been, since those?
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what made you decide that this was going to be your next project?
It needed to be kind of experimental. Whatever was coming after My Fight for Balance, I needed to do something really drastic again.
Palate cleansing?
Yeah,
Kind of like,
yeah, just something that completely wiped the table clean,
or dirty.
or dirty. And like, the other books are 100% real, and I needed something that was 100% just make
Fantasy
believe.
and-
Yeah, fantasy.
Is there a chunk out of that one?
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
Boo.
Rats.
Damaged copy available at the comic shop. My Silent Cacophony.
It's an error edition. It's going to be worth billions in the future, probably.
Error edition.
Error edition.
So without spoilers, I guess, give us a little bit of a pitch it. What's like a good plot summary here?
So yeah.
what's the reader that you're looking for? What about this book would appeal to them?
He's looking for a reader with money.
A reader with money, and they gotta like sex.
Is it pornographic?
He's looking through it now. I mean, there are scenes of intimacy.
Mm-hmm. Like big floppy vampire wieners and things like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. In the literature, they call it open door romances.
What does that mean? I don't know.
The door's open, Evan.
Yeah, so you
Front
write
and back?
the entire scene. You don't like fade to black in the story, or just transition to another scene.
Uh-huh.
You actually get to go in the room and read.
Oh, so instead of like the classic movies where the two
Yes.
people they embrace and
And
then
then
suddenly it's the next day and they're putting their shoes on.
And they're like smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I always hated that, honestly. Like,
The cigarettes, me too.
yeah,
Not Evan.
I love cigarettes. I've never had a cigarette in my life.
He likes seeing people smoke cigarettes.
I love
He gets
comic
every
books where everybody's smoking a cigarette. Well, we watched Clue the other day in the back room, and great movie.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it in forever. Everybody's smoking cigarettes. I'm like, oh, I love this. It's just a callback to a different time.
Yeah, on films and in photographs, they look cool as hell.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I can see why. I bet smoking's really cool.
The podcast is going really great when Mrs. Lee sends me a private message.
Oh, can you tell me the gist?
But anyway, no.
Enunciate.
Gist?
I lost track of where we were. I'm sorry. Of Magic and Fangs. So you
Fangs,
you
right.
hated when it was
Oh.
cut to.
Yeah, in movies. So I went to film school for like 2 years, and we studied a lot of movies, and you do different genres, and there's a certain genre that like does the I guess you would say it's a bit more sanitized, you know, and I always, you could probably tell if anybody's read any of my books, I don't really do sanitized. It's pretty raw.
Which I think for your previous trilogy here, where you're talking about mental health and things like that, that really resonates with people.
Yeah.
I had more people. I told you this about your previous books. I spent more time telling people not to not buy it, but to be like, hey, just so you know, this deals with adult subject matter. He's a local author, deals with adult subject matter about his mental health and how he went through the pandemic and different things that he felt, and going to the hospital, and it can be very raw.
Yeah.
And just so you're aware,
Yeah.
and almost every time it was greeted by somebody going, "Oh, that's great. That's what I want." Like my girlfriend, my wife will love this, blah blah. And that was the feedback that I got, that you didn't dance around things.
Right.
You were not in your face, but like you're just talking about
it.
yeah. And I think that resonates. But when you're dealing with a piece of fiction, I do think that's what's the line between what's I'm trying to think of, like, does it, because you want it to be, it's an erotic whatever, like, oh yeah, people have sex, vampires and witches, sometimes they get it on, and you want to talk about that, but also, is there a point in time where you go, that's too much, or maybe I've become too raw with it, and I
Right.
need to back it up a little
That's
bit?
not the story. That's
Wondering if it's
Yeah,
ever,
I'm just
like,
I'm just telling a fantasy, whatever, and that's just what it's become. And I go, I got to think about maybe the reader and get back to maybe more of the story. Is there anything like that? Am I just going on a tangent?
No, I mean, I know some. I did a lot of research before diving into this one, and I was like, so some, they have that whole spicy.
Notable
scale.
studier of vampire and witch sex.
Yes. Well, of all
Jonathan
like,
Ashline.
erotic.
Yeah.
I had to. I wanted to see what the gamut was, and some of them are just devices for sex scene after sex scene, and I didn't quite want that. I wanted a combination of both, a good story and
sorry. I'm picturing a vampire delivering a pizza right now.
or a plumber. Yep, I've come to fix your pipes.
I'm your witch plumber.
Bippity boppity.
Which plumber?
No, I don't
Yes.
know. Yes.
Witch plumber. That's not a bad comic idea. Someone who uses witchcraft to like
fix
yeah, like oh, my electrical in this house is haunted, so like you have to call the witch plumber who does like uses supernatural.
Well,
Okay, I've lost you guys.
It's committed to the record now, so now we need to make it real.
Yes.
Just can't call her Valentina. 'Cause
Okay.
I did that. So
Valentino.
Jim.
Jim. Yeah.
Jim Valentino, yes.
That's last week.
No, I also wanted to do something that was kind of atypical in paranormal romance, and that was to follow the female protagonist. And
Okay, I was going to say what makes it. That is unusual, I think.
yeah, typically it's a male protagonist moving through the story. They have things called reverse harems, is a whole genre, and I kind of
Reverse harems
Yeah.
is a whole genre.
Yeah.
Can
so,
really?
yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
everything.
there's a lot of Kickstarters out there right now.
Yeah.
It's big on Kickstarter. Yeah, just the traditional harem.
Keep it in mind, Aaron.
What?
For your
Keep it in mind for
Kickstarter,
Wesley.
reverse harems.
Yeah.
Well, my book's done though. I don't have to.
Beatrice and,
There's
and her,
flex goals.
her
and stuff.
bevy of robot lovers.
Flex goals, is that what they are?
Yeah.
Stretch goals.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
stretch
can do
goals.
a nice lithograph of
Give Beatrice another robot lover.
like Johnny Five and
It's just a knock on the door. It's RoboCop.
Doom
Dead or
Bots,
alive, you're coming with me.
Ultron.
That's interesting. So, I assume that this is actually a very popular style of book. There's probably a lot of fantasy type people, and you're saying one of the ways that you're separating that is having the female protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that like
To
is you?
differentiate it.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, to kind of pitch the plot a little bit, it's about the witch who is somehow immortal, who's outlived this her lover, this vampire Sebastian, and the two of them continue to find each other and kind of fall apart and come back together throughout history. Yeah, I just wanted something that was, I basically wrote something that I wanted to read.
Which is a good place to start.
Mm-hmm.
This will be the third time I've brought this up today, and I think I bring this up 50 times in the past 2 months. But I was watching a Rick Rubin clip a few months ago.
Wait, who?
Rick Rubin,
Okay.
Def Jam
Okay.
producer.
Yeah, I know. Just
Okay. He was talking about his qualifications as a music producer, and he goes, "I really don't know how to play any instruments.
Yeah.
I really don't know how to work the board, but I know what I like. And when artists come in here and they say, well, I want to do music that appeals to this person or that person, I say, make the music that appeals to you, because that's what's going to resonate. And I think, making a book that you want to read, you make the art that you want to put into the world.
Yep.
Because then he starts talking about movies, and we're talking about movies today and how many, Marvel and DC have kind of lost their way a little bit recently. And one of the things that he was saying about the modern movie sphere is that people are making movies. The producer goes, well, what does Jonathan Ashline want to see? And what would Martin like?
Yeah.
And what would Aaron Lee like?
oh, nobody's asking that.
Well, but then you end up with a product that's not a piece of art. It's a
Machine
piece
Man, the
of
movie.
it's a piece of commerce.
Yeah.
And as such, it just doesn't find that people watch it and go, it's a movie, it's a book. So I do think that that's important. That and I know it's something that I think we were all in agreement on. It's like, if you're going to make a piece of art, if you're going to write something, if you're going to make a comic, you do it for yourself.
Yeah, make
Right.
it something you're passionate about.
Yeah, because that's where you're going to get your best.
because that'll
It's
be
so
on
much
the
work.
page or the screen.
So much work to make something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why
You
bother?
gotta like it.
Why bother
If you don't
homogenize
like it
it?
and you make it, oh boy, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was able to weave a lot of the mental health. Well, maybe not a lot. I don't want to say it's a lot, but
Oh, are you a character in it?
I am not.
Oh, okay.
But
No, that's a lie.
Valentina
What?
here.
I feel like everybody superimposes a piece of themselves
Sure.
into a character.
yeah.
What was the one moment or one character or one little scene where you're like, oh, that's me. That's. Is there anything like that in there?
Well, when the vampire police pizza delivery driver.
I was gonna say, right before the naughty stuff. One piece. Yeah, actually, it's not a. So I had a question while I was writing about vampires.
We're here to answer it for you.
They
well,
suck.
they suck.
I do.
As a rule. It's just how they eat. But also, it seemed like it would get old to me. No pun intended, but it would get rather depressing to just kind of keep living.
Live forever.
And, especially if you fell for people who were not vampires.
I'm 42. I'm ready to call it. That's
hear-
good.
I hear you.
I couldn't imagine being 400 years
Yeah.
old and you're watching your your 10th wife in a row die.
Exactly.
It's like,
So this this main protagonist, Sebastian, deals with some depression and even a little bit of self harm. How does a vampire do self harm?
Do they regenerate?
Yes,
Okay, it could be anything. Then.
Yeah.
could be anything, um, but
Actually,
yeah,
has that ever
Toothpick.
no? Has that ever been addressed in
Yeah.
like a True Blood or anything like that, where there's like a self-harming vampire?
Did
That's-
Cassidy do it in Preacher? I can't remember.
oh, I never saw.
That's really interesting.
Yeah,
Well,
Because
there's a
you're an
chronic alcoholic who.
Oh yeah, he was definitely alcoholic. I mean, that's a form of self harm.
But that's an interesting. That could be something new that you stumbled on there too. That I think is a very interesting character. So yeah, you live forever,
yeah,
and that's your way of taking out your frustration on that. I don't like that a lot.
Was Deadpool 2? He kept trying to kill himself over and over again, right?
Yeah.
Or is it the first one?
no, it's the second one,
Second one?
right? I think it's
I
the
can't
second one.
remember.
Yeah, and
been so long.
it felt a little Groundhog Day.
Yes.
Yeah, he's like, well, this didn't work. So, and I'm not. That's played for comedy.
Yes.
Both times. This was a little more played straight, because I did think the main character would be rather tortured.
Yeah, I feel like that's with some of the immortal characters in comics. They've touched on that in the past. I'm trying to think who was like was it Immortal in Invincible? Was he the one that like had swore off like, okay, like my fifth or sixth wife here has now died of old age, like I'm swearing off like
Yeah.
going forward, and then he falls in love with the young girl and he's just stuck in the cycle of like, you want to be with somebody,
Yeah,
but also just the process of like they just
Outliving 'em.
outliving them
Yeah.
over, and then I can't love again,
Yeah.
and then it's like, well, then you find somebody and it's just like, okay. I forget how Kirkman handled it. I think it was Immortal was one of the Guardians of the Globe. Yeah, but I
Yeah, 'cause
remember.
both Adam Eve and Invincible themselves are kind of they have longevity, so it wouldn't have been them.
Does Adam Eve have longevity?
well,
I'm not sure.
well, she
She can just probably just refresh her.
well, yeah, because
Adams.
when she dies, she just refreshes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's an interesting concept. I like that. I like the concept of the book a lot. Tell us more about the protagonist,
Valentina.
Jim Valentino. Yes.
So I left her a little mysterious as far as like the origin of some of her immortality, and but I really this was the first time I'd ever written a woman protagonist. It was kind of
Is it difficult to make a woman interesting?
interesting. I wanted to make them authentic.
He is setting you up, sir.
Okay, I wanted to make them authentic.
Careful.
I didn't get the laugh, so I had to look to Martin to see like the
Like,
joke. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm serious because it's
Yeah.
I'm sure it's difficult
It
from a
is.
male perspective to write a female voice.
Yeah, and somebody who's like so powerful, I kind of look to like some other icons. Like honestly, Wonder Woman was a source of inspiration for like the internal narration that she would have.
What has been the most different part about writing this in regards to your previous books being nonfiction? Now, I always say that. What do you call your previous stuff? Because it's not nonfiction, but it's not fiction. It's
It's like-
fictionalized
it
nonfiction.
is like a fictionalized memoir
Mhm.
with poetry and
Is there like a totally different approach to writing this versus writing of Magic and or writing, My Pocket of Fears versus writing of Magic and Fangs? Because like Aaron and I, we talk about this, that like different artists and different writers in comics have different gears that they work in, that like, Nigel Carrington, you met him. He's got his superhero stuff. He has some more comedic stuff,
Type
and
style.
then he has like a
The
kids book
historical-
style.
yeah.
Like he's
Oh,
got
yeah.
he's got like
Yeah.
multiple styles that he can kind of slip into. And yeah, it's all art, it's all drawing and writing. But like what's the difference between your previous trilogy and this when it comes to process?
So yeah, process. Another thing I wanted to experiment with after doing those first 3 books, which were kind of grueling, very soul exposing, pieces of work.
Ripping yourself open repeatedly. Trying to, yeah.
Yeah, just just bleed on the keyboard over and over.
It's not good for the keyboard.
That's what the people want.
That's what the people
Plenty
want.
keyboards.
So
Bloody
I actually
keyboards.
tried utilizing AI to start with the.
Son of a bitch, get out of here.
I
Stay,
know,
stay
everyone-
tuned for next week when
Next week,
Damien comes to talk
Damien,
AI again.
Oh,
Because
is
that's, yep, yeah.
I'm excited for that.
Me too, me too.
So I used a couple of different tools that allowed me to outline and flesh out the characters pretty extensively.
How does that work?
So one tool in particular is called pseudo write. It's like pseudo write.
Take a note, Evan.
Yeah.
Take
You,
it.
you saying this because I have troubles with writing?
A lot.
I'm just picking on you.
Okay.
And they do like what's called a brain dump, and you basically list everything you want to include in your story in this brain dump, and then it will kind
Take a
of
dump.
scramble that into an outline and say, all right, these are some other characters we suggest. Aaron's done. And the outline allows you to move stuff around, and you edit it as much as you like. It just kind of gives you a writing partner to bounce ideas off of.
That's okay.
So it'd be kind of similar to like Aaron generating some.
Using ideogram.
Oh, yeah,
to,
you get-
to-
you
yeah.
get some,
I can't think of the
like-
word.
get some,
now.
like,
This
so
is
get some-
great. Wow, reference material. Yeah,
So-
yeah,
some
as-
ve-
yeah,
but,
visual
like, very,
references
very
and stuff,
specific
and-
reference. Like, I want to see Dustin Hoffman at the top of the escalator in a gray suit.
Or I would like to see a
Yeah, where else
runner.
could you find that?
I would like to see a runner
Nowhere.
running at the panel so I can try and position the legs
what?
properly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had issues with. I've been working on just random comics. I don't know.
Space Girl.
I feel
Spaceship Lady.
Spaceship Lady, that's what it is.
I
Can't think of what
feel
it was.
a sense of urgency
Uh-huh.
to do something
Right.
because we are going to talk to Damien next week about AI because I think AI is just getting wildly powerful.
Yep.
And
I
what
can
does
hear the sirens going off.
I
on
know.
This. It's-
what does that
They're coming for us right now.
what does that look like in 3 to 5 years from now or 8 years from now?
It's going to be wild.
It's going to be wild.
It's going to be indistinguishable.
And I feel like my sister's working on a book and she's shopping it around and she's starting to get rejections from publishers and things like that. She had one. I'm going to shout her out. She had one editor read the whole. She read her whole book and gave her notes,
Yeah.
even though they passed on the book. But she thought that was kind of cool. That
Yeah.
oh wow, like when does that happen? Usually it's just you read a chapter or whatever the treatment is. But I feel like there's a sense of
And his
urgency.
sister's a great writer. I love anything I've seen that she's done that you shared.
I feel like there's a sense of urgency though to like get writing out there before things change so dramatically that maybe people won't recognize. And I don't want to say that I have some like elite skill set or whatever like that, but like for my friends, I think there's a sense of urgency to like create and say, hey, I've spent my whole life working on things. I need to get my stuff out there before the way people approach creativity radically changes. And I think that there's ways of like I use AI and Aaron uses AI too
It's true.
as a tool. And it sounds like
Never
you're,
his final output.
you're using AI as a tool, but I think the lines are just going to get blurrier and blurrier as to what's a tool and what's AI doing. Are they doing all the legwork and the heavy lifting for the creation? Like, I love the idea of the computer being in the writing room with you because I think some of my best stuff, and I want to believe that I can write, and I write things every once in a while, and I pitch short stories to things that always get rejected. But some of my best writing stuff is like when I'm sitting in a room with Aaron,
Oh, yeah?
and I'm like, I'm just using you as an example. I'm just-
Okay.
But like we're
Not really.
Not
no, like no
His,
for.
Aaron's ideas are so awful. Mine are
We're-
now suddenly better.
But having somebody to talk to that's a different mind than you, but also
Yes.
invested in your your project,
Yeah.
where it's just like here's something or what
and
I'm
someone can look at something that you've done and be like, "Oh, this is something that you might want to change," or this
Yeah.
is
yeah,
how about
like
this?
yeah.
bouncing ideas off of
Yep.
Martin or whatever, or again writing with my sister. Like sometimes my sister's writing stuff, and I go up at her house for the weekend, and it's just like we're just spitballing ideas, and she's sitting in front of her laptop just typing away ideas, boom, 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 and that's so valuable. And is that any less valid than using a computer to simulate that type of environment? I don't think so.
I personally found it incredibly rewarding
Yeah.
when I started using this program and had, I've done 3 books solo, and they were. I mean, by solo, I mean without having anyone to process feedback until they were completely done.
Really?
Yeah. And it was like a finished book, and then I would give it to somebody and be like, tell me what you think. And with this, it was much more collaborative, if you could call it that,
Yeah, I think so.
with a machine that was constantly giving me input. In fact, some of the neat things they can do now with like ChatGPT is you can even go in and give it a role and say, "Be my book editor," right? And
That's wild.
it will assume that role and say, "Okay, so here are some notes that an editor might give you on what you've just fed me."
That is wild.
And again, is that any less valid than me showing a page of a comic that I'm working on to Aaron or Martin?
It might be more valid.
It might be more. It
I don't mean that. Oh man.
But just saying.
You're
But
like
just.
intentionally insult him.
But just.
Wait, that wasn't intended?
No, no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
it wasn't. I just no.
I'm just so used to it.
Yeah, I know.
Accidental burn.
But yeah, you know, is that's actually why I'm fascinated to talk to Damien, because I think that the lines again will blur so much in the future as to what is a tool, and where do
It's
the
me.
Yeah.
where do the skills
Good luck, teachers. By the way.
there's a few tools in here right
Hey, I
now.
already got tenure. They're stuck with the old system until I'm done.
But yeah, that's fascinating that you're able to use that to kind of simulate a writer's room and bounce some ideas off.
Well, it's just like I was in some thread online where they were talking. There was like a huge anti-AI thing, and for a final output, I don't like the renderings. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
I believe like you can use it as reference
Yes.
and build into it. You can learn from it, but it shouldn't be the final output. But and I was kind of talking in that thread too. 'Cause I'm not a like a hot take kind of guy, but there's somebody in there so super anti AI, and I posed like my stance on it, which is like it's like having an assistant that can assemble reference for you.
Yes.
It's like I want to see like lots of people jumping.
Yeah.
You know, or like I don't know what the status is. Maybe I need lots of people jumping and then lots of cards being thrown and some energy because I'm doing a gambit pose.
Yeah.
You know, and they just go on public domain images and they're like, here's all the jumping pics,
Yeah, you
boss.
get
Here's all the
stock
cards.
photos.
And then it's like, okay, well, Photoshop some together for me and make a scene. And then that's essentially what it does.
Yeah.
It skips that whole step for you, so you can get right into the drawing. The final output's the thing I have an issue with, but it's not too dissimilar from like Norman Rockwell and J.C. Leyendecker and all those mid-century modern illustrator guys who would take photos, project the photos onto their canvases,
Yeah.
and then they would do the outlines. and
What's
they would
that? What's that machine called again?
get Lucinda.
I just learned what that
Because
was
they're
a few weeks
painters,
ago.
right? They want to get to the painting. They're also on
Yeah.
deadline, right? So
Yeah.
like
Cornell University just started up this project where they're bringing back this tool, which I had never heard of.
Lucinda.
Is it available currently? Is there modern?
It never wasn't available.
But it's just a thing that refracts and then projects an image.
Yes.
So you can so the artist can look down
Yes.
and they could see what's in front of them, but so they can just kind of trace that over onto the paper. So
Yes.
it's just like almost like laying a transparency on top of your.
yeah.
But I've just never seen this before until like
Yeah.
a couple months ago, where Cornell was doing something where they were highlighting this tool as to how old masters used to draw things, and they're like, that was their piece of technology that they used to like make deadlines. And
Yep.
it's not cheating. It's just that was the Photoshop of the time. That was the photo reference. Photography didn't exist. So I could have your image refracted down on my piece of paper, and I'd be drawing Martin, not looking at Martin, just looking at Martin on the paper. That's
Well,
correct.
they're also doing oil. They're also doing
They're doing oils or,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know.
so it's not like they're not putting work in, but they did have one at the illustration room in at SUNY Oswego years and years ago now. Jeez, back in like 2008, a long time ago.
But a piece of disruptive technology that I'm sure some artists at the time were like, well, that's cheating. You need to look at Martin and then paint, and then look at Martin and then paint. You
I
can't
mean,
just have it.
Either way, it's torture.
I
Yes.
do. I find there's a value in that. I think there's a value in working that way, but I mean, it depends what your end goal is. Are you trying to work fast? You're trying to work the deadline. What's the part that you really want to do? Does this help you get to the part you really want to do faster?
And I think that's what that AI, that's the next disruptive tool. That what's a tool and what's cheating? I don't know. Maybe it's all good. It's just going to change radically. That's all. Anyway.
Yeah.
I have a sense of urgency that I need to do something. I need to draw. I need to make a comic. I need to whatever before I'm too old and technology is too good and
You can't even work an
I don't
iPad right
know.
now.
I
so-
can't even. I spent 4 hours today trying to set up our
Well,
point of
that-
sale on our iPad, but
Oh,
that's
yeah.
neither here nor
My
there.
contention would be like my sense of urgency is to learn how to use it. That's what I kind of spend waking every waking moment until I go to bed is how do I use this AI to do what I want it to do, so that somebody doesn't just pass me and they go, oh, I can whip out a book in 2 days.
And I think that will be the thing that like comic writers or comic artists won't go away and writers won't go away,
Mhm.
but your role as a writer will change because you'll be editing AI things and you'll be pitching ideas and molding that. But now you might be doing a book a month because this is doing the heavy lifting. And maybe the comic artist who understands art is going to make color corrections and change things on the page, but the bulk of the work might be done by a computer. So do you just become an editor more than an author or an editor more than an illustrator? I don't know. And it's not that those not
Seems
that-
kind of dystopian to me.
but I think that's just
What
what
we're marching to, sir.
well, I feel like again we're getting into a lot of stuff I think we're going to talk about next
Yeah.
week, but I think that like that's kind of you can't be afraid of the tools like you said because they're not going away.
Right.
That's right.
It's not like tomorrow somebody, President Biden's going to go, we're going to ban AI.
don't
No,
know.
he wouldn't do
No,
that.
he wouldn't do that.
He
I
wouldn't
was
do that.
talking to my friend Corn Cob and we're going to ban AI.
Corn pop.
Corn Cob said he bit into a piece of corn and it was AI corn. There's no nutrition in that corn.
So I think you have a healthy attitude towards that, and that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to know what's going on because change or die, right?
Adapt. I like
Yeah.
to say adapt or die.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just like to say die.
Or die.
we just like to do
Cut
that.
I don't
the
like to
end.
say anything.
Yeah.
But you do.
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's
Much
peer
to
pressure.
Aaron's chagrin.
Kickstarter.com of Magic and Fangs. Jonathan Ashline. The books are already printed, or no? You
No,
said this
I
is a
got
proof
approved.
copy.
Yep.
This is just a proof copy.
Okay.
I wanted to see.
Pop open to a random page.
I like how Evan jumps to the next thing. So the next book's written and the new Kickstarter's already started.
It's black on white.
No, I said this
Wait,
book
I'm black.
printed.
I know. I'm just exaggerating because it's
Oh.
like because you jump to the next step. That's
So,
that
Evan,
we're
did you
not
have any
currently at
questions
yet.
about how he structured his Kickstarter?
I do actually.
Not getting off.
Thank you so
No
much.
So your first Kickstarter,
Yes.
I forget. Let's say it
$600.
$2
did
million.
It was
Twen-
600.
no,
The goal.
no.
Okay.
No, we're going back to the beginning. We're
It
going
was
to back to
$600.
My Pocket of Fears.
Yes. The first one's goal. I'm not saying how much it funded for.
How much did it fund for?
2,100,
Over $2,000.
Yes.
Your second one,
1,400,
yes. Your third one.
3,000.
So on average, it was a $2,000 you were getting per book.
Yes.
How much did you ask for this Kickstarter?
$500.
Why on earth did you ask for $500?
Another way that this was going to be experiment was because I don't know if anybody was even going to buy this book. There's a lot of
Despite the other 3 books being popular enough.
yeah.
I mean, how many books have we sold here? Now it's slowed down a bit because I think we've kind of saturated
Yeah,
the
yeah.
local market.
yeah.
But did we sell 40 books?
But
35
this is a
books?
whole different animal, and I wasn't actually anticipating selling it at the comic shop. That's up
We've
to
sold
you.
worse.
You sold-
Yeah, I would. I'd do it.
Cool.
I would also say that you're a very good writer, but a lot of people just want to support you.
Yes.
So I think that that's another piece where I go, yeah, even though, being honest, I don't think that that's my cup of tea. I'm
Yeah.
not a fantasy guy, really,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to support you because I feel like we need more people like you in the community promoting the arts, writing, being creative, talking to people, encouraging people, giving somebody things to think about. And yes, I guess this isn't as maybe
Mainstream.
as in and as intense and as whatever as your previous books, and it's a different departure. But I
Yeah.
think that
Is it a
it's
kid's
not
book next?
it's not any less valid to me.
For $200.
Yeah, 2
What's that?
I was asking if the next one will be like a kid's book.
Yeah.
My mom has been asking me to do a children's story for a while, and I'm just like, maybe someday. But I almost feel like I have to have a pseudonym, put it under a fake name.
Aaron Z. Lee?
Ash John line.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't know if this was gonna flop or not. I didn't really want to, stick to the people inside my circle to market this. As an author, you need to grow and be able to sell beyond the people who know you personally. So I wasn't. I was quite frankly a little nervous.
Well, I guess you shouldn't be because you asked for $500. You're already at $1,000. I have not supported you yet, and I will.
It was day one support.
Yes,
Yeah.
funded.
Yeah, I
day
think you
one.
walked in.
They,
yeah.
they want 29 backers for. I mean,
Before I
and
even
maybe
saw it.
I also do think we were talking about that. I was like, oh, he's already funded. Oh, I guess like there's no sense of urgency. I wait till he comes in to talk about it, and then I'll throw him money afterwards. But
Now, is there some advantage of being fully funded?
I think there's an algorithmic advantage on Kickstarter.
an algorithm.
Algorithm.
Created the internet.
And yeah, they're more likely to give you that projects we love badge, which is really debatable how much that actually
does.
boosts you. But the successful ones, the ones that do really take off, that kind of go viral, are always on their Kickstarter's homepage
Okay.
or their publishing category page. And so I feel like there is a boost, like a signal boost that they get if you do fund rather quickly instead of like taking 2 weeks to fund.
All right.
So I was hoping for that kind of blast off.
Well, I think you're doing really well. 2 weeks ago,
Yep.
of Magic and Fangs on Kickstarter right now, Jonathan Ashline. Anything else? Any final words for chilling the book here?
Yeah, covered it.
Is there a sequel?
Oh, somebody messaged me on Kickstarter and asked that. They hadn't even got the book, and they were like, "Is this part of a series?" And the truth is, it kind of depends how well
Depends on sales.
Yep.
Kickstarter
Yep.
goes. It's such a commercial answer, but it depends if the interest is
The
really.
sequel is a children's book.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's these same characters.
Just go careening wildly through
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
genres.
Right now, I'm focused on the stretch goals, and the third, probably a final stretch goal.
So
is
first
a,
stretch goal is digital bookmark. Second stretch goal is
like
digital character
cards.
cards.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
and that's at $2,000. So you're ways away from that. But again, your
Yeah.
track record's telling me that you could do that. You've averaged out about $2,000. I know that it's a little bit different times economically over the past few years that money gets tighter. But I think people really like your stuff, and I think that that's very achievable. What's the third stretch goal?
Actually, an epilogue in this book.
Okay,
Kind of a mystery.
and they lived happily ever after.
In the children's
JK.
book.
Okay. And then, well, here are the kids.
Yeah.
Is that what you follow the kids?
Mm-hmm.
The first book, they make the babies.
Aaron,
Second book,
let's start
they
at the
teach
beginning.
harmless lessons about life.
Like witchcraft?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
What's up?
What's up with you gonna do a Kickstarter?
Yeah. Let's
I mean, I
You
had
whatever your answer is right now.
I love
Yeah.
that. Love that.
yes. Yeah, I got to get it going because I mean the book is done.
This summer we're hoping for
Yeah, I mean we'll
when
see.
you're off of the school.
I think that's more of a possibility. It makes sense to be kind to myself to do it in July probably, and because the book is done. The book is done.
Oh, we
would
know.
ju- I
We
would
all
just
own copies.
yeah I would just have to
Do I own a copy?
I don't know.
I don't know if I own a copy.
Well, just shove one down your pants as you walk out tonight. You can
But
have a copy.
yeah, I've got to set it up. I've been thinking about reward tiers and stuff like that. But it's to take that on while teaching with a 2-year-old and also working on new stuff.
Wait, Lucy teaches with you?
I wish. Oh my god, can you imagine how fun my day would be if I had her?
Assistant.
Or she would just start screaming and the kids would be like, okay, I'd be like, you guys,
You're like,
need
welcome
pay
to my
attention.
world. This
You
is
need to
what
pay
you all
attention."
sound like.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it depends on the day whether whether the teenagers or Lucy are more disruptive. But yeah, I definitely want to do it. I got to get into that realm. I think it's a viable product
Yeah.
because we've done a couple shows with it and done very well. I thought.
We have you have done very well. I think we as a team have
Yeah.
fun, but it's your stuff.
Well,
Like how you distance yourself from that. It's like, I don't have nothing to do with the
No
content.
affiliation.
That's not.
Don't know this, man.
yeah, but I got to do it. I got to take the plunge into it. And I mean, I'm already working on new Wesley stuff, which
Yeah, looks good. Looks great.
I think it's some of the
I haven't
best
seen it.
looking stuff I've done.
What's that?
I haven't seen any.
Well, you talk.
How dare
Well,
you.
much like Jonathan Ashline did these in with limited feedback. I think I'm kind of doing. It's only a 10-page story, but I'm really pulling out all the stops.
Oh,
of
is
the
this the
illustration.
holiday?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just the winter holiday.
Yes.
And I have a fall holiday thing. I'm not sure what the spring or summer holiday things will look like yet. I don't have to know it yet. I'm trying to slow down.
Wesley bursting through a big egg.
His layouts
You're not
look
wrong.
really nice. It just, and I don't mean this in an insulting way, but good, simple cartooning that's very expressive. I think
Clarity, baby.
I think some of the most expressive character stuff ever. Very comic strippy,
Yes.
almost.
Mhm.
But
Well-
the little things I've had privy to see were excellent.
Well, because here's the thing. You go on Instagram, it's all these 4-panel, 6-panel comic strips, right? There's a lot of success in that realm, and it's you get satisfied by doing like a really solid page, right? So you have a shorter form thing, gets more engagement, and you have the satisfaction of completing a thing,
Yeah.
right? And it's also part of a bigger thing. So that's the area I'm moving in. I have an X-Files type thing going on where it's like there's lore, and then there's
Monster of the week.
monster of the
Oh,
week.
gotcha. Okay.
So like I have a plan for that. I don't know how long this is going to take me because
You
I
said Laura, and I wasn't sure what
'cause-
Laura was.
because I always think of like The Crow, or what's or The Rocketeer. These works that these guys took forever to make, but they're like held in super high regard. Not that I would ever compare myself to James O'Barr or Dave Stewart
Aaron Lee compares himself to James
or,
O'Barr
or Wally Wood or something like that. But,
and Wally Wood.
but I'm
You
trying.
are a tool, sir.
I'm trying. I'm trying to aim towards that. Whether or not I get there, I don't know. But I'm gonna try. But yeah, so I'm working on it. There's new stuff. I got up again at 3:30 in the morning to work on stuff. So I just couldn't stay in bed anymore. Yeah, but progress is being made.
you should just stop sleeping.
I still need sleep though.
Just
And eating.
Just draw all the time.
Just slowly die. Wither away.
Well, I
That's
am.
what Evan's saying. For
I
you.
am, Martin. Don't worry about it.
Don't
It's
worry,
happening.
it's
It's happening.
Stretch goal 52.
Stretch goal. Watch Aaron die
By 52.
on webcam. I'm bleeding on the page for you. Is
There
this
you
what you
go.
want?
I paid premium for this.
fund the whole series of books.
Yeah. More blood.
But anyway, yeah, I could go on forever about that.
We know.
But-
Do we want to talk superhero couples real quick, or do you want
Yeah, let's blow that one out. Let's talk about.
Yeah.
We got about 10 minutes left. We can talk about current events.
to?
What? Go to the dot cam real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So this was we're talking about Valentine's
Or did you want to
Day.
do our advice column?
No,
I don't know. We're not doing that. But I just want to show this one page. This thing is beautiful. No artist named here, but like, look at these chunky ink lines. Look at this hatch mark here. All this flat color. This is a beautiful page.
Don't think I haven't sat back here and doodled that first page in your notebook that you bought me, because I thought the same thing. That was like a really great character.
This is great. And I was saying this.
I
before-
diddled her character. Yes,
And I was saying this, but before we were live. But I love this old woman in a wheelchair just berating this young woman for
Yeah.
going out and enjoying
Where
her
is
life.
your sketchbook, Evan?
Uh,
You've got a recreation of the cover, don't you?
But-
I did
We
doodle
don't
that.
have to get into that.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to.
Okay, never
I
mind.
just love that.
We won't
first
share
page,
any
man.
of Evan's art. Sorry about
No,
that.
we don't
Evan.
want to
sorry,
see that.
Sorry,
We don't
Aaron.
want to see that. I have been working on art though lately. I'm obsessed with. I have a sense of urgency lately, and when I go home, and leave here tonight, I don't turn on the TV anymore. I used to turn on the TV just as like a distraction in the background. I just literally just sit there and I just draw, and I try to draw for like 2 to 3 hours
Sit
a night.
there or lay on the floor.
I lay on the floor actually. I lay on my living room floor.
Seductively.
And I
In front
have
of your cathode ray TV.
and I have all of my
Fire.
In your overalls.
my comics in front of me that I try to pull source material from, but none of the source material is ever any good.
Because it's all Larson stuff from
You
Savage
need
Dragon.
garbage. That's
You
why you
do.
got to go into the dollar bin and get the
I
get
have
your
oh, I
Zen
have plenty of-
intergalactic ninja.
I have
in
plenty
your,
of garbage in my boxes at home. I just feel no need to pull them out. I have my anatomy reference books in front of me, and I just sit there and I draw. Although I drew a dinosaur last night, there was no. Actually, my reference for that, Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah.
I have one Calvin and Hobbes book. I don't know where the rest of my collection went, and I was just looking through for like dinosaurs,
Your mom sold it for bird money.
probably, and I was like, man, Bill Watterson drew such fun dinosaurs. So a lot of the head texture and tail textures were from it wasn't even it must have been a Sunday strip, but it was black and white.
I have a.
But anyway, my dinosaur reference, like it's just fun to look at things. I feel like there's a sense of urgency where like I need to draw and I need to understand that I'm trying so hard not to cheat. Although I've cheated on a few things where like I'm really looking at anatomy and trying to figure out how I see things, because I feel like I need to get better and I don't have I don't know why I feel like I don't have much time, but like I feel like I need to figure out how to.
Been hanging out with me too long.
I feel like I need to figure out how to be the best artist I can be in the next few years, because then I think things just change.
You remember when we had Kevin Delgado and we were just talking about him,
Nigel.
Nigel Carrington.
everybody?
Here-
Yes.
And we're like, why do you work so hard on these comics that you're working so hard to get out? And they're like, because I feel like I'm gonna die tomorrow. I want to have done something.
Yes. I don't feel that way. I just feel like things are going to change, and I want to be able to say that like
Well, things are always gonna change.
yeah, but I want to be able to say that like, hey, I could hang.
But
I wasn't the best guy. I wasn't a professional, but I could hang.
well, here's the thing too. I think the more things get digital and AI infused, I think people are gonna swing back and like traditionally produced things and like to see like more analog production style.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. So I think there's room for all of it.
I'm sure there is, but
I don't think there's
it's just it's scary.
you know, this is probably the most ignorant thing I've ever said, but I don't see like a cataclysmic, Armageddon apocalypse creative scenario happening.
It just so many
You know,
many
this is going to age very well. Make sure you clip this out and make this a reel. that we
so
can
many
share.
people I know are creative that frequent the shop, and I just feel like, oh, I want to feel like that's going to keep going, and I don't want to think that again the
Why wouldn't it?
I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I just feel like things are at a weird inflection point that like I don't know.
Yeah, I hope
Collapse where it collapsed.
Damien is able to kind of alleviate a lot of your anxiety.
Well, because the last time he was here, it was like it's already done.
Yeah.
Give it up.
You know what's so fascinating? I can't.
Plus, you gotta translate. It's hard
translate
to- yeah.
between Damien.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, allow me. I'm the Scottish whisperer. So no, you called him Scottish. Did said he was
Me.
You.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
He's English, right?
Yeah.
He's English. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
because he's from like outside, like northern England-ish, right?
Yeah.
Originally.
So I would be
is
psyched
barely New England.
to return if y'all will let me for the. I just want to sit there and
For
eat
next week?
popcorn. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Damien.
You'll shut your mouth though. You will shut your mouth.
Oh my god.
Yes, sir.
This is the most professional podcast. Our guest is going to be here. We're going to say, "You sit there. You shut your mouth."
Shut
Oh,
you
God.
shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Oh, that's classic. Shut up, little
The
man.
Mike
Yeah.
Kelly slap. If you talk, you just get hit across the face.
The Cali slap. He's probably the one you don't want to have. Well, and Evan too, because they have the martial arts training.
Kelly'd be afraid to hit you. I wouldn't be afraid to hit you.
And I take it like a man.
God.
Much like Valentina did in page 17 of the book.
It's page 17.
Page 17.
17.
17.
Aaron,
That's how you're numbering
what else?
everything now.
What else do we have coming up here? We got some things coming up.
Oh yeah, coming right up. We'll probably honk about this until it happens here, but we've got the Independent Creator Con, which provided we don't have a blizzard or a whiteout or anything like that, we're gonna be traveling to Connecticut to do the very first ever Indie Creator Con with some other folks. A lot of creators of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like
Yeah.
Mirage series, are going to be there. A lot of people who are part of the online community that I got involved with over the pandemic. I've been in Zoom calls with them and messaged them and Facebook friends with them for years and years now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see them in real life at tabling at this thing. So I'm not sure how well we're going to do selling things, but as a hangout, like a cultural, like as a almost a religious experience, right? Like all these other people who
So
believe
you're
in.
going to a cult. is what I'm
It's,
getting.
it's kind of culty, yeah. I'm not going to lie about that.
Did you get your white Nikes yet?
I don't wear Nikes. My
Okay.
feet are too wide.
That's what Applegate told us to get, right? What was his
Applegate?
name?
Applegate. You're going off the rails.
I'm
man.
Heaven's Gate?
Heaven's Gate. Oh, Marsh.
Heaven's Gate.
What's-
Applegate.
No,
Christina
but
Applegate
what's
says
his-
put on your white Nikes.
what's his-
What?
Jim Jones, right?
No,
That was Kool-Aid.
whatever.
Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's
I
Gate.
forgot the guy's name. There was an apple in his name. I think.
What like Eli Schwab's?
Oh,
gonna be
Apple
there?
Bottom.
Apple
Yes.
Bottom.
You know, he had a gang.
Ryan Balcom, who does Comics Lounge, is going to be there. Whole bunch of people. I think Sam J. Royale, who's big in the scene, is going to be there. Sam Blanchard.
Yep.
I requested to sit next to him, so we'll see what happens
Nice.
with the seating. So we'll actually get to like hang out with them.
Yeah, I'd like to meet him. He's a Princeton guy too. We can talk Princeton. I lived there for a long
yeah,
time.
I felt that guy would be a good
Jersey.
fit. We had some contact with him and tons of other people that I know of and respect. So it's going to be real cool. We'll see what happens. I got a banner made up.
Nice.
So that's in process. We'll be getting that soon. New prints. Was it the robot? Creep of the Crop was already done from Port City Copy Center. Thank you, Port
Best
City.
looking creep of the crop yet.
Yeah, I got some natural recycled text, so it's like it's got the speckle and it's like
Ooh.
off white. It's so good.
Creamio.
That's gonna be what the future issues of Wesley are on. They're gonna be zine format on that paper, baby.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's.
Who's talking at Rice?
I am.
Yeah,
That's right.
It's great you were able to buy your way into that one.
we did.
Hey,
I got
what did you say, Evan?
Huh?
We're not taking part. We're taking over.
We're not Conor McGregor quote. I said we're not here to take part. We're here to take over.
That's right.
They never wanted him before, not even a little.
Yeah. Well, with that,
Well,
I'm not
now
sure.
they want a piece.
I'm
now
not
they
sure how
want
much we
these.
can. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. Nobody
They run out of
watches,
people,
but
basically. It's just
Well, they're going to regret that they ran out of people.
They
I'll say
are.
that much.
Rice does a Friday night event where they have speakers,
Yeah.
and then a Saturday event where they have the event. And there was talk of not having the speakers for Friday night because of a variety of things. But a couple of the Rice board people put it together. I'm trying to get some money, which I'm still waiting. I'm hoping to have
You got
another.
some?
I'm hoping to have another. Yeah, I got a little bit of money for it, but I'm hoping to
It's
have.
not nothing.
I'm hoping to have another good announcement. Hopefully, when we have our next Rice meeting, and that
Yeah.
Rice is the first weekend in April, the 5th and 6th. Does that sound right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so we'll be there showing books.
I got
whatever.
invited to
I'll be at
Ithacon, but I'm
Archon.
on. Are you? Wait.
You're going to Arc. It's because it's all on the same weekend.
spread thin again.
I got invited to Ithacon, but I'm not sure if I'm going to that this year. We'll see how. I don't know. I like Ithaca, but I also have a 2-year-old, so I also would like to not be divorced. So.
Martin, do you have anything?
Just that fantastic forecasting's meh.
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 It's
Can
fine.
you give us a rundown on
No, I don't know their names.
Pedro Pascal.
That's the one I know.
what do we think about Pedro Pascal as
Vanessa
Mr. Fantastic?
Kirby.
Does he need to be all the daddies?
Yeah, what's Jonathan's take? I want to hear.
I love Pedro. Like, absolutely love him. I'd let him have my babies.
I don't think that's possible.
But I think it's a strange choice for Reed Richards, and it makes me very curious about the talent behind the camera with all 4 characters, because I think they're not obvious choices.
well, I mean, he is old enough to be the Invisible Woman's father.
13 years. It's
Is that how old they were in the comics? It certainly was in the Roger Corman.
It's worse than both of those.
It's worse?
Yeah, it's a worse age spread.
Oh.
no,
my.
we'll buy like a year or something, right?
I was encouraged by the graphic design and the design of the costumes, though.
like,
The kind of 60s, kind of like light white, white and blue.
so I hope they
Kinda
keep
clean.
that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just PR.
It's
I think
visually
I think it's just
distinct.
PR.
I think it's just PR too.
Are
I
you
don't
for
know.
it?
Yeah,
Because
I really
why
do.
would they throw that in
yeah.
the garbage? It looks so good, though. I don't know, but I
Herbie
guess
the
if I like
robot.
it, throw it out.
Martin, what else?
25.
What else?
Deadpool 3.
Oh yeah, Deadpool.
Psyched.
Deadpool trailer looked good,
All
and
of
I'm
them.
not. Full disclosure, I'm not a big Deadpool guy.
Yeah.
It looked really fun.
Yeah. They got everybody back. Even spoilers, Pyro.
Yeah, my only concern about that is that it was done over the strike Palooza.
And so how
So
did
who
that affect
knows? Yeah.
filming?
Yeah.
Filming quality.
I don't think they would. It's the only thing they're putting out in a year. Like this thing's got to be under a microscope. Like,
Well, is that good
I-
either?
th-
Because I mean, the last 2 Deadpools are basically whatever you want to do.
well, I don't know. It seems like from the trailer, it seems like they
Yeah.
cut together some good stuff. The thing I'm very excited about looks like we're gonna get live action Patch,
Yes.
like the white tux
Uh-huh.
Wolverine from behind there.
Mandapore.
Who I think,
Madripoor.
who I think has a is that a new Wolverine miniseries?
Yeah,
out?
I
Is
haven't
that-
read it yet, but I
yeah,
did buy it. Yeah, because
It's been a real whirlwind of stuff coming in the last 2 weeks.
I'm a
and
sucker. If
craziness.
Larry Hama wrote it, I think.
I think so.
And
so,
if-
too.
when Larry Hama returns to Wolverine, I got to pick it up because that's my childhood.
He's on
right
fire
there.
right now.
Larry Hama's great.
This guy is a Real American Hero, G.I. Joe going at
Yeah.
Skybound.
That's an interesting thing. And maybe that's even we don't have to do it in the near future, but a podcast where we do talk about what Skybound is doing, what Ghost Machine is doing, what's Rick Remender's. I always forget too. There's a bunch.
That convention was a long time ago.
Generator.
Giant Generator.
Giant
Thank
Generator.
you. There's a bunch of Image comic imprints right now that are like all the big Marvel and DC guys are going to them. They're all kind of unique and different. And Marvel and DC, aren't great lately. And this
Well,
really
they-
could be really could be a renaissance for indie books again.
They seem to have focus and a plan and aren't just throwing things out to throw a book out.
And there's Distillery too.
Distillery?
With those
with Tula Lote.
oversized books.
Yeah, it's a gamble.
It is because we can't store them anywhere here. So, but very,
Oversized
very
books.
wonderful done.
They look pretty,
Yeah.
but a lot of collectors don't know how to store them.
Yeah.
So that's. But man, they are like when that Wonder Woman
Historia
came out.
Yeah,
I like Wonder Woman's a good character.
Yeah.
I had to buy those.
she's a nice broad.
She's a very nice lady, but the art in that book.
Yeah.
But where
So
where, are the,
beautiful.
where do I store them? They're just sitting on top of a box.
Yeah.
Like I just don't have a place to put them. But when I saw that art, I was like, oh my god.
Or those creepy and eerie collections that are magazine size.
Yep.
Those are awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I just put them on a bookshelf.
Yeah.
Because they're books.
But that's different though that it's a book. When
Yeah,
it's a
not a
comic
periodical.
and you
Yeah.
have like that spine that's nothing.
Yeah.
And it's more difficult.
I love nobody thinks about like what size is this going to be when it's done. I ended up going with the hardcover size from my third book when they came out all together,
Mhm.
and it ended up being a little bit bigger than the pocket sized ones.
Mhm.
And I said, well, that's almost the only thing I kept consistent with the new book was the size is the same as the hardcover.
I think that there's something to a collector that likes that too.
I-
That like
yeah.
when you have those spines on the
Yeah.
shelf
And the spines match.
and the spines match.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
DC.
Boom, boom, boom.
Oh,
Anything
man,
else?
There's nothing better than like putting your book on a shelf with a bunch of other books, and you have your spine on there with your author title. It's just like
Yeah.
chef's kiss.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
And the last name is up there.
Mm-hmm.
It's spelled right most times.
Most of the time.
Well, it's the best we can hope for.
Anything else? I'm good. X-Men 97 trailer
Yeah,
dropped. That
yep.
looked really
Oh, yeah.
good too.
March 30th.
Yeah.
Oh, was it 30th?
Well-
You told me 20th earlier.
That Cyclops,
30th, check your message.
the new voice of Cyclops nailed the.
To me,
Huh?
is the line.
Well, yes, that,
Yeah.
but also like the timbering of it, because
Yeah.
the voice actor sadly passed away, who is Cyclops.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So like the timbre and the vocal, they nailed it. I'm not sure how they did that, but it was really
Yeah.
good. The actor who played Magneto as well, so they have a new actor for him.
That one I detected a little bit of a difference.
Yeah,
in
but
the
the
voice.
cadence and the pronunciation, Xavier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that guy has a very
yeah.
specific Xavier thing. Oh, I was talking to Martin about this, like about doing the X-Men animated series, just doing one episode on the entire X-Men the animated. How can that even happen? How can we even do that?
One episode.
Why don't you post 50 things today?
Because I didn't want you to be able to find this. It wasn't a message? I thought it was a message.
That was a message.
Because
too,
there's
but-
so much to it.
Oh,
You
here
could
it is.
do season 1 and just do one. You know what I mean? Or the Phoenix Saga could be a whole thing.
Suck it, Ashline. Suck it.
All right.
All right, I think this is where we end it.
Suck it, Ashline.
On
That's what
that
we-
note,
Yep. Our esteemed guests, who we invite to the
He'll
show,
be
and this is
back.
how we treat them. We tell them sit down, shut up. And
Your first
Suck
visit,
it.
you get politeness. On your 9th or 10th, you're just screw you.
that's what we do here at the comic
You're
shop.
part of the family now.
Come next week though. If you want to come next week,
Yeah,
by
I would
all
love
means.
to.
I don't know
Just
if I'll
shut up.
set up an extra mic for you.
No.
Well, I don't know. If
Maybe
I'm-
learn sign language.
If I'm
Learn
inspired.
Some more sign
Or-
language.
All right, we're at the
Oh,
end
boy.
here. We're at the
Yeah,
end here.
we're completely off the rails.
Aaron, take us home.
You've been listening to The Comic Shop Does a Podcast with me, your old pal Aaron Z. Lee.
Oh, it's me, Evan Coy. We're here with very special guest star.
Martin
And
Kinney.
we're here with regular guest star.
Jonathan Ashline. Don't talk.
And we're talking of Magic and Fangs on Kickstarter today. I put the link in the chat. Support a local artist, support a local author of Magic and Fangs. Vampires and Witches doing it. Come on, you know you love it. That's it. Have a good night, everybody.
Apologies.
Apologies to Jack Kirby.
Our new title.